What's up, beautiful people? I'm back again this week, but instead this time, it's story time. You guys read the title of the video. Let's get into it. How I balls myself. Well, how I balls myself for the first time. Usually for a story, you don't need a whiteboard, but for how complex and how many people are in this story, it'd be a lot easier if I have like a flow chart you guys can look upon as I am speaking about this. So this story takes place my sophomore year of high school. I have not had a girlfriend before this. Technically, it was like February of my sophomore year. So now that I've kind of set the time frame, let me draw in some key people. So right now, the steps leading up to my first relationship, I wasn't with anybody. So I'm gonna do a little circle with a dash to show how lonely I was and how pathetic I was at talking to women at this time. We have 3 more people in this story, 2 of which are women, 1 of which is another guy. I'm gonna name the guy Scott, and he is currently with a girl who I'm gonna name Ashley. So they're a thing, and we also have this another girl in the story. We'll name her Lisa, and I believe at this time she's single as well. So prior to February, I'm single, I'm lonely, technically have never had a girlfriend. Scott and Ashley have been together for quite some time now, and Lisa, I don't really know about at this point. Before I continue, I'm going to explain the relationship I have with these people. So Scott and I, we weren't really friends. I had to see him almost every day because I went to the same school with him. We weren't really friends. I would say we were more acquaintances. Ashley, I only knew because of Scott. And Lisa, I knew very little about. I knew she went to the same school as me, but other than that, I know nothing about this chick. So I would say this time frame is November. So as we roll on into January, Scott and Ashley are no more. They were on and off for a while, and then they just decided to cut it off. I don't remember how exactly I started talking to Ashley, but I think I originally had her Snapchat because she posted it on Twitter one time, and I just added her, and she was like, oh, yeah, sure. Then I eventually got her number. The first night I was snapping her, we stayed up to 3 in the morning just talking about random bullshit, The Walking Dead, which I hated The Walking Dead. I don't know anything about that show because it is I know there's zombies, I know there's slaying and killing, and it's very mainstream at the time. Other than that, I had no idea what it was about. So we're talking for a week, and I decided to ask her, it's hey, why don't we hang out sometime? What about bowling? Because we both enjoy bowling. She's like, yeah, sure. Now, keep in mind, there are 2 different bowling alleys close to where I live. One where I normally go to. Where I always go to. And another one where I dislike going, but it's where she kind of always went. So without asking, I just kind of assumed that we were going to her bowling alley. This is the first kind of sub-step of ballsing myself. So the day arrives, we've agreed to go to bowling together, and at this point, it's 2 hours before we were supposed to meet up. I'm texting her, I'm like, hey, you still down to bowl? I'm waiting. Don't let me down. This is the first girl I kind of like. Talking to you, don't let me down. An hour goes by. Okay, are you trying to catfish me? This isn't cool. I send her another text. I'm like, hey, you still down to bowl? Question mark, dot. An hour and a half later, I get a response. She was napping. Whew. We're still good. At that point, I leave. I go to this bowling alley. I get there, I get a lane, I get all ready. She hasn't arrived yet. Prep myself, if you will. Then I get a text from Ashley. Hey, where are you at? Lane 17. Something you gotta keep in mind. The bowling alley I always go to only has 16 lanes. She said, what do you mean? I didn't say anything for a couple minutes. Then she's like, are you at that other bowling alley? And I was like, no. So I jet on out of there because I'm about to look stupid as shit. Jet on out of there, drive to this other bowling alley. She's like, look, I don't know where you're at, but here's where I'm at. Once you get here, come in and we'll bowl. We bowl, we have a good time, and at the end, she's getting ready to leave, we hug it out. That's the first emotional rush I've had in forever Just a simple hug. I'll see you later. Yep. So we depart, like, we go on a couple more bowling dates, if you will. And then finally, I get my first girlfriend. Yep. Facebook official. Everything. Wow, my voice just cracked. Hey, guys. Yep, so now we can start drawing in the daring board. Tyler is with Ashley. And come to find out during this whole thing, Scott gets with Lisa. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit so it's easier to explain. My relationship only lasted for about a month. So, we're having a good time. During this month we were like watching movies together. We were still bowling. It was great. Like 3 weeks in, we're bowling. I'm kind of sitting back, being all cool, because I just got a girlfriend. She's bowling, and I look at her phone, and she gets a Snapchat from Scott. Here's where a couple red flags start throwing everywhere, alright? Here is where I technically balls myself the first time. Ashley was in a relationship with Scott for what considered to be, in a high schooler's mind, a very long time. I think it was maybe like 6 months to a year. I don't know the exact time. But it was like on and off. It wasn't really consecutive, but like a cumulative, oh, what the fuck? A cumulative 6 months to a year. So not only, and remind you, they broke up like a month before Ashley and I got together. So not only did I kind of set myself up to be a rebound, I also set myself up to be a rebound, knowing I was probably going to be a rebound. But me being so excited for my first girlfriend, I just kind of went in like blindfolded. I didn't say anything to her right away. I was having a good time. She was having a good time. Later that night, I texted her. I was like, so, hey, I saw you and Scott were snapping earlier. And she was all like, yeah, we were just seeing how each other was doing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, cool. And about a week later, because if you do the math, I said we were together for a month. That was like 3 weeks in. We go forward about a week after that. I am at work. I have my headphones in. I'm washing dishes, having a good time. I really miss my old job. It was so chill. I just put in my headphones for like 5 or 7 hours, sometimes 4 hours, depending on when I was scheduled. Just went brain dead, dude. All I did was washing dishes. Like, if you get a job where you can just wash dishes and put in headphones, like, that's a good first job, like, for real. So I get this text while I'm at work. She's like, hey. I'm like, what's up? She was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out. I'm like, what you mean? She's like, I don't really think I'm ready for this. If we were meant to be, we'll be together in the future. I still want to be friends. Oh, darn. Tyler and Ashley are done. Done. 3 days. I find out that Ashley and Scott are back together. So that must mean Scott and Lisa are not a thing anymore. So heat check. You know how I said that she wanted to still be friends? So after we still broke up, we still talked a little bit. It's one thing I forgot to mention earlier. During the part, Ashley and Lisa developed this friendship. That's a really important concept, what I'm about to tell you. So Ashley and Scott are back together. I'm just still kind of talking to Ashley as friends. I'm talking to her one night. She's like, hey, look, Lisa's having a really hard time getting over Scott. I need your help because you give really good advice and you're like really smart and stuff. Huh? So now I get thrown into this 3-way iMessage chat with Ashley, me, and Lisa. And in this 3-way chat, Lisa's talking about how she really cared for Scott. Scott was like the best thing that's ever happened to her. Now he's gone. Pretty much, I was supposed to talk to her, relieve some of the situation. So what happens now is Ashley leaves the conversation. I'm just talking to Lisa now, one-on-one. Now we're down to a 2-way chat, like a normal iMessage. I talk to her pretty much all night, one night, day. I go in and talk to her again. So it takes like 2 days to kind of help relieve the whole thing, saying, hey, things are gonna get better. You're gonna find somebody that's more your type. There's other fish in the sea, all that good stuff. Just stuff that people want to hear. Maybe not necessarily what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And something that they need to realize. So one night, I'm talking to her. Things are really starting to calm down. And I go on a walk. I don't tell her I'm going on a walk. I leave my phone and my iPad at my desk. So I leave. I come back. I get like 5 messages. All from Lisa. She's like, thank you for helping me out in this rough time, all that good stuff. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then a couple messages down, I'm reading, hey, I think I like someone. That's good. I mean, it might be a little soon, but That's good. Like, that's a good step of getting Scott out of your mind. Yeah, there's this guy I really like. He's a sophomore. He's really smart and he's funny. I don't know who that is. And at this point, I'm getting that idea that she likes me. And so I just kind of like leave it off. Like, I don't reply right away. Like, I have my read receipts off. A couple minutes later, I get another message. Tyler, do you know who it is? It's you! And like, I wasn't looking for anything either. Like, I was just like, look, I'm glad I could help. I just got out of a relationship. Woo, whoopee, a month. And plus, I didn't want to balls myself again by jumping into a relationship that would probably not end so well. At the end of the day, I don't have an issue with any of those people. I just think now I can look at this story. Wow. I balls myself really hard on this one. Not only that, but it was a good life lesson. And remember, like, this isn't the first time that's happened. So if you guys really like this video about describing how I balls myself, I will tell you more. Different people, different situations. So I want to thank you guys for watching this week's video. If you really liked it, please like it. If you disliked it, please dislike it. And if you really liked it, please subscribe to my channel and share the video. Until next time, see you! Facebook official everything